What's up, fam? It's John Coyle here with Steve Ballas. We are doing the Philadelphia Wings podcast live from the Wells Fargo Center here at the East Food Hall. If you guys are going to the game or want to come to a game, we will be here every single home game. Make sure you come check us out. We're brought to you by our platform here at A2D Radio, where you get the best news, the best content for all your live Philadelphia sports, plus all breaking news in all sports, plus all campus right here, guys. Come check us out on the Ocean City Boardwalk. Make sure you come buy your new custom hats for all your colleges, all your teams that you want. We even have the new Philadelphia Wings customs, guys. Only 144 of them get produced. That is it. Once they're gone, they're gone. Buy them right here at the stadium. Gotta come to the game to get these hats. We made it. We're here. Opening day, baby.
I know, man. It's been a big wait from last season. Again, my name is Steve Vasilis. I'm a good co-host of the podcast. We're super excited for you guys to join us, and we want to make sure that the whole season we're giving you guys all the information as possible and having fun and just bringing back that awesome Philly spirit, sports spirit.
Yeah, that nostalgia of the 90s for the Philadelphia Wings, right? All you old Wings fans all know that when we were the most dominant franchise in the NLL. We want to get back to that. We're going to try to help get us all back to that. This is the year, Steve, that we're going to be talking about. This is the year where we think we can crack that hump and get to the playoffs.
I really think so, because even though we've started off a little bit with the injury bug, management has really stepped up, made some changes in the offseason that I really going to believe is going to help us get to that over the hump and get to play in the championship series.
Yeah, and let's get right into it, right? Let's get into the changes that we made. Two of the biggest changes. We lost our captain. We traded our captain, Kyle Matisse, and we got rid of probably the most famous and known player for the Philadelphia Wings, and Trevor Batista. What did we get back? Does it make us better?
I think when everybody saw Trevor Baptiste head for the West Coast, I think everybody panicked.
Yeah.
For sure. And rightfully so. I mean, the guy wins all the time at X.
Yeah.
He's, like you said, John, he's one of the most recognizable players.
Likable.
Yeah. He's one of the things I also do is I also run the summer camps for the Philadelphia Wings. We've had him there. He's phenomenal with the kids. And to see somebody like that shipped off hurts.
Yeah.
But we get it. I get it, because I also, realize that he wants to be closer to his home out in the Denver area. So we get it. I want to be a little bit closer. So I make his home out that way.
Right.
Okay. So we get it.
So let's give it a little breakdown of the NLL itself. It's the National Lacrosse League. All right. These guys are on a 18-game schedule. I'm saying that correctly, right?
Okay. 9
home, 9 away, and then playoffs. Most of these guys aren't making good money, right? This is their profession, but they also have side jobs. So when a Trevor or a Kyle or another player wants to be closer to home, it's not just him being greedy or him being a selfish athlete, right? There's other factors into the National Lacrosse League until it becomes one of those mainstream sports where these guys are getting paid a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, also, I've talked to quite a few players where they weren't able to continue in the NLL because they weren't able to play for a team in their regional area.
Yep.
And if you've got to go to work on, your main employer is asking you to come to work, be there on Thursday, Friday, and be there first thing on Monday. A lot of these guys are involved in finance world.
Yeah.
Finance, you got to be there when the bell opens and the bell closes. So it's a necessary evil because we don't have the money. These players don't have the money that NFL guys are making. The Sixers are making. So they got to supplement.
Yeah, even though they're a professional league, it is one of the lower income leagues paid for their players. It is growing though, which is a good sign, right? We are adding 2 more franchises next year.
We are.
Yes, not knowing where that is happening. They're going to expand the schedule. We're hoping that that's going to keep moving this league forward. If we have a hiccup this year, it's going to be now with the injuries. Getting into the season, getting into what we're thinking, our predictions of what's going to happen. Our captain now, Riorden, just went down last week with an injury, diving across the middle. Seems like he hurt his shoulder. Looks like he's going to be out 6 weeks. He's our leading goal scorer. How is that going to affect our offense, and who's going to step up and take that role for him?
I don't know if you have to. I think it's a simple of a place, to be honest with you. I mean, I know a lot of people are sitting there saying that, I think we're doomed. Holden Cattoni's down as well.
Yeah,
but honestly, this is about Blaze having the cojones to drive straight to the net. Who else has got it?
There's no one else on this team that really has that ability that can dive across the crease and get those dirty goals like he does.
I feel like Leclerc does.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the use of having the name of Leclerc without being able to do some diving once in a while? It's like Michael Jordan. It's not calling him his airness, you know what I mean? So I would look to him to step up a little bit. And I also think Ben Mack.
Sure.
Freddie Mac he likes to shoot from the outside, but hopefully maybe he can get some guys to come out, commit, toe drag, come around, and hopefully break some on the net.
Right. I think Ben McIntosh is that. At least he has the physicality built for it to be able to drive the net, to be able to go into the crease, into the dirty areas, and get those goals. Let's give a quick breakdown of what box lacrosse is, indoor lacrosse, the NLL, National Lacrosse League. It is a high-pace, fast action, line changes, right? You have an offensive team, a defensive team, and you are changing on the fly.
Transition.
It's your transition guys in and out of the benches real fast. Everything has to be precise, right? Because just like hockey, you do get 2 many men on the field, so it has to be good timing. If you guys have never been to a game, please, and you're a sports fan, check this sport out. It is absolutely something you will fall in love with. There is action, high pace, entertainment throughout the entire game with music, the fan interaction. Philadelphia Wings have the party zone down there, right, where you can go get your beers. You're right up against the glass, banging on the glass right behind the goalie. Usually, goals scored per team is about 12 to 15. Right?
That's a ballpark. The NLL wants it to be fast action, fast pace, and they want you to see goals. They want you to see the celebrations. One of the things, again, just to touch on what you said, John, I love bringing my family to a game.
Yes.
It's affordable. Tickets are extremely affordable. You don't have to, buy a bunch of stuff here for the experience. And I love the party zone. My kids love it. Every once in a while, people drop the gloves. That's awesome too. That's always great. We wish they dropped them as much as they did in the 90s.
Yeah.
However, it's something that it's something that's kind of faded just a little bit over time.
In all sports, though, that's kind of faded, right? You're taking away the ability for head injuries now, right? We're a little bit more aware of concussions and what long-term effects of that. So every sport is making adjustments, and that even includes lacrosse here.
Yeah, I think, and they're just trying to get away from, and we were talking about this earlier, is I think more physicality we're seeing less of it.
Right.
100%. And I'm seeing a trend of the NLL and other teams starting to pick up smaller players. Last year, I remember seeing guys on the Rock. I remember seeing guys on the Buffalo Bandits. They were just 6'4". We had our own. We had Kyle Matisse.
Yep.
We're looking. I'm seeing a trend. So I'm wondering if it's going to be anything like where the NHL went from the old 90s.
Wall Street Bullies guys, Legion of Doom
I'm talking
teams.
about the 90s. I'm talking about the 90s where it's all clutch and grab.
Right.
To where it's all speed and it's all, they want to see points on the board.
Yep.
Points is what's going to put fans in the seats. And I think that's what we're kind of looking at here.
Yeah, I think it is going a little bit, like you said, speed kills. There's no replacement for speed, especially in like lacrosse game, indoor game, where you do get those quick outs of the box, right? You get those quick outs and you get those home run passes from the goalie that lead to breakaways. Speed is what's going to allow you to have more of those opportunities in the game. Face-offs, like I said, we lost Trevor Batiste. It is a big part of indoor lacrosse. The more possessions you have, the more chances you get to score. It's that simple.
I'm not sure what went on behind the scenes in that thought process.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way. I think a lot, the most common Philadelphia Wing fan feels like, well, if we don't have possession, then we can't score. We can't score. We can't win.
Right.
So, I do know that we're looking at some people in the draft. Didn't exactly work out.
No.
So now we're kind of just doing X by committee. Is it working out? We're not really winning. We're not really getting those possessions, but hopefully we can make up for it in other areas like our defense. Some of the people that we picked up there to turn some defense into offense.
Right. And when Steve says X, he's talking about the face-off dot, right? So that's the area where it starts the game, starts the quarters, and it starts every single possession after goals. You do the face-off dot, just like hockey. But it's more frequent in lacrosse because there's more goals. So the more you win face-off, the more possessions you have, the more chances of getting goals, obviously, right? Let's not be, it's a little bit simplified, but that's the basis of this game. We went from being the number 2 team in face-offs last year to absolutely being the last team this year in the first 2 games. We are getting murdered on the face-off dot. I think we are at a 27%, which is that's a lot of possessions you're giving up throughout the game.
It's 27% if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah. And a lot of those are scrum possessions that we're winning. We're not really winning any face-offs clean. Like it's happening last year where we got a lot of face-offs clean.
Oh, Trevor was winning with these. One of the other things I'd like to bring up is last week when we played at The Rock, we're going against TD Erlin,
right?
Who was one of the top face-off guys in lacrosse.
He's one of the best.
PLL, NLL. And when you're playing against a guy like that, I mean, you're throwing somebody out there to hopefully get that 27%.
Yeah. So when he says PLL, guys, that's the professional lacrosse league. NLL is the national lacrosse league. The difference is PLL is outside, NLL is inside. Just to give you guys a little bit of information, this is going to be the first week that we're doing this. We're going to try to give you a little bit more information on what this sport's about, how this sport's played, the X's and O's of the penalties and the procedures and things like that. So hopefully you do come to a game, you have a little bit of understanding of what this is all about.
Come out and give it one game.
Yes.
I promise you. I promise you will have a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
The kids, more importantly, you'll have the kids wanting to come back for more because it's so much action going on. There's never a dull moment. If there's a timeout going on, they're doing contests, they're doing games.
T-shirts, giveaways, yeah.
I've got 2 young ones, and they enjoy it. They absolutely love it. In fact, they're missing Dad right now because I'm doing this. And they're watching the warm-ups, so they're lucky ducks today.
Yeah, we both are family men that have kids, and this has been something that I have cherished and have brought my kids to every single game the past 4 years. I've been a season ticket holder. I'm in the same boat as you. I have my son here now with me, and he's floating around somewhere. I don't even know where he's at, but it's more of an experience that we always had together. This year's going to be a little bit different, but we're going to be able to watch the games and have a fun time with our families. And like I said, come out, give it a try. I promise you, if you are a sports fan, you will fall in love with this sport.
Let's talk about some of the history. Some people I'd like to bring on this season. We'd like to bring on this season. I'd love to bring on a couple of Hall of Famers. Kevin Finneran. I'd love to bring on Jake Berge.
Yep.
We're talking with them right now where we can get them and come on for maybe a pregame.
Yep.
I would love to get Chris Bates on here. Chris Bates is one of the scrappiest guys. He was never one of the biggest guys on the court, but he was the glue guy that kept the team together during the championship runs. Just a tough, tenacious midfielder. It's great to get their takes on things, like how the game's involved, how the wings have involved. I'm definitely looking forward to bringing them on this season.
Yeah, just so a little bit of history, like Steve was telling you guys. Philadelphia Wings, I think, were established in 81, 82, something like that. And throughout the 90s, we were the mecca of National Lacrosse League. We won in 94, 95. We were always there with the Gates brothers and Dallas Elliott and Kevin Finneran and Ratcliffe and all those guys in the past. Then the National Lacrosse League went through a little lull, right? And the Philadelphia Wings got sold up to New England in 2011.
Right around there, the Black
2011, 2012. And now the lacrosse has come back stronger than ever in America. And Philadelphia got our Wings back in 2018. And it has been a blast and a privilege to be here from the very beginning till now, where it looks like this is the year we take that step. This is the year where we are contenders, and we're going to pack this stadium and show the National Lacrosse League what this fan base of Philadelphia really has for winning teams.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great when we get there. We just got to get through a couple bumps right now. If we get back to, we start talking about maybe some of the, let's go back to Blaze and maybe talking about Holden Cattoni.
Yeah.
I was super stoked when Holden, we traded for him.
Yep.
And it's not exactly the Paul and Gary Gate connection with his brother.
Right.
But the Cattoni brothers are a couple of John Hopkins boys that are very familiar with the Philadelphia scene. And they enjoy the scene. They love it. They said they're going to thrive in it. But it stinks for the first game that
you got a little nicked up.
Got a little nicked up. Actually, after this, it was second. It was after Holden was after the first.
First game was Holden, and second game was Blaze. This is a game, guys, where these players, you hit like hockey. There's hits, there's checks. The boards are real. They're hard, just like hockey, but they don't wear the padding that hockey players do, especially their lower hand. I mean, these lacrosse balls are super hard, and they're coming 80, 90 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour. I mean, you're feeling this ball. Guys are going home bruised. Guys are going home a little bit nicked up. But these guys are warriors, and they keep driving the net, and they keep playing. And we want to be here as a fan base to really rally them on and get them going and getting them liking this Philadelphia market that they want to stay here, especially guys like Mitch Jones, who we traded for, who's one of the best players in the world in lacrosse, especially in indoor lacrosse. I believe he led the league in points 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think he was third last year. He's a guy that we're going to be leaning on heavily to get us over this hump these next 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, he's gonna have to pick it up a little bit extra. I mean, the guy has vision like nobody else.
Yeah.
And he works well. He works well when other people are moving off the ball, and he can pick up those people for those quick assists.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to pick it up a little bit more and try to fire some in, and it's not going to be easy. Definitely not easy for sure, but I mean, it's definitely something I think is attainable with the FireWolves. I know they started off hot with a 2-0 record.
Right.
However, I do feel like it's going to be a pretty competitive game, and get it done.
I think that we are favorites in this game with Vegas. I think we are a minus 140 when it comes down to it. It's our home opener. We are the better team, I believe, skill-wise, especially in net with Zach Higgins. Zach Higgins is going to be a big force for this team.
Great.
He is very undervalued in the National Lacrosse League as a goaltender. I think he's one of the best. He will keep us in a lot of games this year.
He will, and I think now's the best time to also not just to talk about Higgins, but also who's playing in front of him.
Yeah.
We got Scott Dominy in the trade with
Trevor, right?
Trevor Baptiste. Yep. And he's supposed to be a glue guy as well. And we're gonna need him to step up. And Mitchell Armstrong, baby-faced defender from the Ontario area.
Yeah.
And kid, I think is maybe I don't know if he's old enough to drink.
No, he's not old enough to drink yet.
I don't know. I'll buy him a beer for sure. But I mean, I don't know if it's gonna go. We have alcohol compliance around here, so I do have to watch what I say.
Here now.
So it's going to be important to see what happens in front of the net because last year was a little bit of a mess.
It was.
We were super top heavy. We
were super offensive heavy.
We had one of the best offensive years ever.
Yep.
Which is great because we're putting people in the seats, we're putting points on the board. But at the end, we're scoring one goal, and the other teams
coming back again
too.
Yeah.
So what do we do in that situation? You got to upgrade.
Right.
You got to upgrade your defense, and I think we're going to be. I'm optimistic.
I'm very optimistic this year too. And let's give it to Paul Day, who is our head coach and general manager of this Philadelphia Wings team. He is the guy pulling the trigger. He's a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. He's one of the best minds in the lacrosse world right now. And the moves that he made, I think, are going to allow us to put up those 15 goals and win games this year instead of losing them.
So let's mark this down. This will be the first time we disagree.
Okay.
So I don't know if I call him a Hall of Fame coach.
Really?
And I'll tell you my version. So I think with Hall of Fame equals championships. And is he like a great mind? Yes. There's tons of great minds in coaching though. And unfortunately, I think sometimes the only way to get weighed is championships. Yeah. So, and wins. And, when we're putting up, when we're a bubble team, I don't know if that's going to, and I don't think that's his ultimate goal. He's being a Hall of Fame coach.
No, it never is anyone. It's always the perk at the end of the career that players would love to obtain at the end of their careers.
But I definitely, and respectfully, John, I definitely disagree. Because at the end of the season last year, people were calling for Paul Day's head. Like, how come we don't have defense? And
yes,
it was ugly, man. It was ugly, and hopefully, I think that's in the back of their minds. Right, back of the fans' minds. Like, okay, like, all right, what do we get? What defense we getting? What offense we getting? What team are we getting for this Saturday's game?
We know that they upgraded defense. We know we have the same offense when healthy. And our goaltending, I believe, is at the top of the National Lacrosse. Is it unrealistic to say we take that jump from last year, making the play-in game, and then kind of having to go all the way to San Diego, first of all, and kind of getting smacked down there and losing the play-in game to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, that was fun.
That was not good. But can we get above that? Can we make the playoffs without getting the play-in game this year?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't. And listen, I think it's going to come down to what happens over the beginning of the season because we're getting a big hole. That's going to be that's something that might be too big to climb out of.
Right.
It could be. It comes down to what happens in the very beginning of the season. Because it's gonna really be a large hole to climb out of. If we can't scrape out at least a 500 record while these guys are out,
right? There is a couple of benefits.
I'm happy with a 500 record. You have?
I'm very happy with a 500, especially like I said, losing our goal scorer at the end of the second half of last game. There's no making up for that. That game was going to be a loss, especially against Toronto, who I think we both can agree, and I think everyone can agree in the National Lacrosse League is the top team, right? The scheduling this year for the Philadelphia Wings helps us a little bit this year. We only see Buffalo once. They come here. We don't go to Buffalo this year. I think that's a big advantage. I think that's something when we expand and get a bigger scheduling, you're going to see us playing a little bit more of the weaker teams, a little bit more, which is going to help us because Buffalo is a really good team also. They won it last year. I think they're just as good this year.
I think I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that part. I think that we have to have some things go right, and hopefully that the doom and gloom of injuries is over.
Yes, we can't take any more.
We can't take no more.
Oh,
No more injuries. We're done. We filled our quota.
yes.
We're moving on.
Yeah. We do have a special game today. Not only is it the home opener, but we do have a special connection with one of our players who is going to probably see some increased playing time in Taggart Clark. And a special person on the other side, if you want to fill us in on that.
Yeah, it's a little father versus son. Taggart Clark is Taggart Clark was just drafted from Robert Morris University.
First round, I believe, right?
First round. Yep. Well sought after player, Canadian born like a lot of these other guys. Playing against Daddy today.
Yeah.
So he gets to stick it to Dad if he wants to. Hopefully he could be one of those other guys that fills that void.
His playing time should go up today.
I think it will go up.
Yeah.
I think it'll go up a lot.
Yeah.
So now's the best time to get some retribution against Dad and making sure that he puts some points on the board and have bragging rights over the Christmas holiday table.
The perfect time to do it with the holidays. Go beat Dad. Get him his first loss of the season.
Yep.
Right? Get the Wings back up to a winning record. Get us over 500. We also have what is the home opener. And Philadelphia sports fans, we all know it is a big deal for home openers. We're expecting a big crowd today. We're hoping to get 7,000 to 8,000 people here today, which will fill up the whole lower bowl of the Wells Fargo Center, which is a big deal because we're usually averaging around 5,000. Right?
So that's
5, 6, right?
I felt like I attended all the games last year, and I felt that the lower bowl was filled out, mostly filled up.
Okay.
Pretty darn good. It's where, and I hate to keep going back to this. It's I remember the 90s.
Yeah, when this place would sell out.
When the place would sell out.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bonkers. But it was a different time back then.
Right.
We didn't care about concussions. We didn't care about fights.
Nope.
It was drop the gloves and we can beat them up.
It was pure competition of sport in a game that when you fall in love with lacrosse, you are a diehard, right? There's no in between in this sport. This is a sport you either love or you just don't have any affiliation with it. Most people, when they see it, fall in love with the sport. We got a lot of people out here in the food court here. Kids, a lot of Wings jerseys, seeing a lot of Wings merchandise. We know Philadelphia can fill this stadium. We just need a winning team to do it behind.
That's a great point. But let me change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
To change things up, you need a change in leadership. You have a change in leadership in Blaze Riorden being the captain.
Yeah.
How do you lead from the bench?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough spot. We were at practice yesterday for the Wings, and we didn't get a chance to talk to Blaze, but we did kind of get a feel for what type of leader he is. The man is itching to be back on the field. He's out there in a harness with a brace, and he is still a part of this team. He's still out there with the young guys. He's still trying to do what he can to help this team get through this stage while he's out. It looked like he is going to be the perfect fit for Philadelphia. I think he has the mentality for it.
As far as a captain?
As far as the captain. As far as the leader, vocal leader for this team.
I hope you're right. Because it's not easy to lead by the bench. It's a lot of times, as a former player myself, just regular sports. It's better to lead on the field.
Always.
And to do that, I'm assuming he's going to be on the bench today.
Yep.
I'm not assuming that they're going to have him in the back somewhere, but it's a tall order, man. It's a tall order, and it's not an easy one. And I know we keep going back to it, but how we get through these first couple of games, how he helps with captaining his team,
Right.
it's going to be huge.
It's going to be a big deal because I believe Coach Day was talking yesterday at practice and said that we're going to have 6 rookies in the lineup.
Nice.
And that is a big, big, big change for everyone. We know Philadelphia is a hard market to play in, especially in the National Lacrosse League, where you go to other cities like Halifax, Saskatchewan, San Diego, where they just don't have the fan backing like we do in Philadelphia. Playing in the home opener as your first game, like a Tanner Buck's going to be doing today, that's going to be some nerves that he needs to control because he might be a big factor in today's game.
Well, I think everyone's going to be a factor in this game. It's just a matter of how prevalent he wants to be. And, like you said, he's got to shake off those cobwebs. Or maybe hopefully he just comes out, goes cojones to the wall.
You never know a player's makeup, right? And maybe the crowd and the energy gives him the strength to keep going. That's what we're there for. That's what we hope we bring as a fan base and a crowd to the game. We hope that we could bring them a little bit of energy, like we saw with the Philadelphia Phillies in the playoffs, like we see every week at the link over there with the Eagles, like we're starting to see with the Flyers coming back and starting to win. Right? When teams win, we show up and we make it known we're behind this team.
People are hyped about the Flyers now.
Yeah.
People are, but in the beginning of the season, and I still believe this a little bit. There's a lot of guys on that team, and nobody knows their names.
Yeah.
Just like the Wings.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're going to see a lot more. We're going to see some unexpected wins, like the Flyers. They're beating teams, and they're just doing it through just outworking them. And if we can outwork them, the other team, then sky's the limit. You don't always need to have the best players. And I know, like last year, I was super psyched to come see Joe Rezateris play.
Yeah.
Jones, Blaze, Benny Mack. You're excited to come see all those guys play. But when it comes down to it, I'll take outwork.
100%.
And I was always that type of player that, I may not have the best talent.
Yep.
Well, I'll outwork you. And we'll get some points on the board one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, hard work always outweighs talent in the end. This Philadelphia team, I feel like, has that work ethic. At the practice yesterday, you saw Mitch Jones being a little bit more assertive on how the offense is going to be ran, how the pick and rolls are going to go. What is his look on swinging passes? Is he going to go to the pick and rolls? Are they going to swing? You saw Mitch Jones really taking the lead on that, and that was a big step that we didn't see last year because he's going to be the guy that is going to be controlling the ball on the offensive side. Everything's going to run through him.
Yeah, and he had a tough week last week.
Yeah.
So, he had trouble finding the net for sure. Hope that's something that can change. But, last week when you're playing against dominant face-off guy, you got at least 2 of the top defenders in the league on the rock. And then you got a top-notch goalie. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they probably have the best goalie in the league. Toronto is going to be a team that everyone's going to have to watch out for this year. I think they're going to be the number 1 team.
And they're another one of those guys where I saw them scrap a couple of their big guys.
They did.
I am kicking myself for not having my note in front of me, but they had a goon. Just a straight up goon who was like 6'5" last year. And he was just pounding people. And especially on Tate Cattoni, when I remember in the game last year. Unfortunately, he's got abused. But this guy was a goon, but he had basically he was really limiting his movements on the field. He's not back on the team this year.
Yep.
That's another team that is loading up with younger, smaller guys.
Yeah. The whole league's going that way. The whole league's going speed, going youth. I think all sports in general is going more speed and more youth. But we got like 15 minutes left. Do we want to get into this game here with Albany and what we're expecting? And you want to give any predictions on player of the game?
I think let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's absolutely do it, man.
Who are you looking at in the Albany side that you need to be afraid of offensively?
Alex Simmons.
That's it.
I mean, really, if we could do what the Rock did to Mitch Jones last week, then we'll really limit what they have. But that's not the only guy. Not the only guy on the team. Want to talk about some of the other guys?
So Albany does have a good offense that they have a 2-0 record. Hopefully they don't get to our defense down low. That's where they excel. They excel in the two-man game, the pick and roll with Simmons.
Yep.
Hopefully they don't get into that two-man game and we can keep them away from that. If we do that, our transition should be pretty good. Our transition players should be able to get out and run, and we should be able to turn the defense into offense if we contain that pick and roll from the Albany team.
Pick and roll, it's one of those offenses that it's hard to defend when it's done right.
Yeah.
Whether it's basketball, whether it's outdoor lacrosse, it isolates the rest of the guys, and then just puts you guys on an island. And it's a matter of being able to get the correct technique of the pick.
Yep.
And then also rolling the right way. And then you also have to receive and shoot as well.
Yeah.
So if it's done right, fantastic. It's almost unstoppable.
And Albany actually does it a little bit different. The games that I've seen them this year is they're more pick and roll to the net. A lot of teams, especially now the Wings don't have Blaze, are going to be pick and pop teams, right? We're going to be coming off the pick and looking to shoot. Albany does pick and roll to the net. They look to feed the picker and get to the net and drive across the crease and do the air scoring, do the leap across the crease and try to get the goalie on the opposite side of the net.
Well, these goalies are wearing such big equipment.
Yeah.
And these box nets are not the same as the outdoor nets.
Right.
The outdoor nets are,
a lot bigger.
Very big.
Yeah.
Very big compared to this. And here, you got all your equipment that you're wearing. There's like an inch on this side, there's an inch on that side. And it's all about being able to change the field, the point of attack.
Right.
And being able to execute that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you really see goals in this are really what we call quick sticks in this game.
Yep.
Right? Is a pass going cross crease or cross court, and it's a quick stick hit for a goal. It literally is in their stick for a half a second before they get it out. It's really amazing to watch the way that they maneuver and manipulate the ball when they have it in their sticks.
Yeah, it's definitely something that, and not just that, they're doing twister shots as well, which is a version of a quick stick. A quick stick is basically you receive it and you're shooting it right away with your forehands, or you can do a twister shot. So you're receiving it, and then you're actually you're doing a quick curl around on the opposite side.
What we call it in hockey is pretty much a toe drag, right? It's equivalent to a toe drag where you're dragging it back and snapping it on the backhand of your strong side.
Yeah. I did actually see a comment here I wanted to address.
Yeah.
It's okay with you, John.
Please do.
From Mike Hayes. How about the Flyers and the young talent showing off love in the Wings? They've never been to a game yet. I think that's awesome. I mean, we're one city. What is it? One city, one team, one dream.
Right.
But with these guys, the young talent on the Flyers, they can assimilate what's going on at the Wings because this one's kind of a nobody's.
Yeah.
And unlike, well, I think John Tortorella, and that's a whole different conversation, is a Hall of Fame coach.
He is.
He's won championships. That I don't know if you can come back and say the same thing about all day. But Mike Hayes, I want to thank you for your comment there. Vinny Massenton, you always are a person of great knowledge. I appreciate you, sir. So how about let's talk about some of the fans that are here today. One of the things I love, packed.
It is packed in here.
Oh, it's packed.
It is a big crowd gathering in here before the game.
Yeah, it is the Wings gear that I'm absolutely loving seeing. I love seeing people dressed up for the holidays. Seeing people dressed up as elves here.
Yep.
And this is just part of the spirit, Philadelphia spirit. And talking about also, if you're interested in actually getting some more wear, some gear for you guys, do we have any hats?
We do have hats, guys. We do have the custom hat that I am wearing right here with the side patch right over here the side. I gotta get it backwards here. Only can buy it at all campus or here in the stadium where we are selling the custom Philadelphia Wings hats. We have this black one here, and next week we're dropping our other custom hat, a white with a black rim. Guys, only 144 of them. You don't want to miss out on these. Come to the game, check it out, have a blast, get yourself some limited merchandise for the Wings.
Tonight, I heard black and white.
Yep.
I heard white and black.
No, we have an all black one like this. This is our custom one here, and then we have a white top, white cap, and a black rim coming next week.
How about a red?
We're going to do a red one next year. We have the red one in style for next year.
Why not this year, John?
Financial budgets for the Philadelphia Wings have thrown us till next year.
Okay. So we want to see what sells better right now.
Yeah,
with the white and the black, and then maybe we'll drop the red next year.
We have a red one, and we're going to do a holiday one too. We're going to do a Christmas one.
Okay. Very cool.
So
how you doing?
Hopefully we can get more merchandise out for the Philadelphia Wings and help grow this team and grow this sport through the fan base, especially down in Ocean City at my store.
Where is that at? Is that 9th?
Ocean City, New Jersey Boardwalk on 10th Street between 9th and 10th. We have all campus where we actually have a promo code for the Wings. If they score a hat trick to their game, go to allcampusoc.com, get 10% off your purchase online using the Wings promo code if we score a hat trick. Also, if you come down there or at Tinseltown, we're at Tinseltown and FDR Park here for the holiday season. I have a QR code where you can get discounted tickets to come to the Wings game.
I'm psyched. I'm psyched for today. How about, can we throw in the refs? Just talk a little smack about them.
Yeah.
I think they do a pretty good job.
They are definitely hated here.
What town does love referees?
Yeah, that's true.
So I am hoping that we at least, call things both ways, of course. And let's not get too physical because right now we're beat up.
Yes, let's keep the physicality out of this game today. Let's just go get a W. Give me your player of the game. Give me your score prediction.
Player of the game. I'm going to go with Tiger Clark.
Whoa, go with the rookie.
Yeah, I think Tiger Clark's going to step it up.
Okay.
He's going to stick it to Dad. And I bet you're going to see Dad, give a little smirk every once in a while. I'll be like,
he's going to still be happy.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy, Blue. So I'm going to say 14-12. I'm going to stick with.
So you got close one.
Stick with the hometown Wings.
I'm going to go with Benny Mack. I think Benny Mack needs to step up, have a couple more touches that he normally does, a couple more shots than he normally does. We know he's a sniper from the outside. I really want to see him driving the net a little bit more this game. I think he needs to fill that spot and that presence. I think he gets 4 goals today. I think he's the man. I like him for the player of the game, and I think the score is going to be 15-11 Wings.
All right, so we are taking the home field turf by storm today. We're gonna crush it. And what else you got for us?
We are going to be, after the game, we're going to be back here doing a quick wrap-up show, a little post-game show, giving you our insights and giving you a preview of the next game where we go to Halifax. Hopefully we're going there 2-1 with a little bit more jump, a little bit more excitement. Hopefully this crowd falls in love with this team today. And the next home game grows bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
That's what we want. That needs to be the outcome of these games moving forward.
So we pretty much
we're going to wrap it up here. We're getting ready for the game, guys. If you're not going to be able to make it down to the game and here to the stadium, watch it. ESPN Plus, Comcast. Make sure you check out the game, guys. 1:00 start. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a fun game. Let's get on the winning side of this thing, and we will talk to you guys at the end of the game.
Let's go, Wings.